WICR.
Oh, drat these computers. They're so naughty and so complex. I could pinch them.
Check out the latest news and videos on Masscom's YouTube page. Just search Iona Masscom or go to NorthAvenueNation.com, where Masscom students are making things happen.
Hello, everyone. This is Gregory Kasimis from the Metro Deli in Scarsdale. The Metro Deli has been part of the Westchester community for over 10 years. We always use the freshest and highest quality ingredients for all our dishes and catering events. Our breakfast features bagels with freshly sliced Nova. Don't miss out our thick challah French toast. For lunch, grab a booth and enjoy one of our oversized salads or our freshly cut hot deli sandwiches. We're open 7 days a week, where the coffee is always hot and freshly brewed.
Broadcasting from the basement of La Penta, this is WICR.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my show. I am Anthony
Hello.
Payero. This is Patrick. Say
Hey
hello.
guys, how are you?
Let's check the levels here. It's been a while. First show of the year. So this is what I like to call Payero's Power Play, or Payero's Playbook. You know, I'm changing the name.
Trying to change it up, but
Yeah.
you're still committed to that P playbook.
I'm
power play.
I'm all about the triple P.
Yeah,
So
that's why I'm on the
it's
show.
it's why it works. There we
Yeah.
go. Patrick's Power Play today.
See, I'm already helping.
We're actually gonna steer clear of sports for this opening segment of our show today, and I'd like to talk a little about Dragon Ball, because you know I'm hooked.
You're all about that Dragon Ball Z.
I'm hooked. It's actually a really good show, and they came out with an advanced chapter of a continuation of the Dragon Ball Z saga. It's called Dragon Ball Super. It actually started in 2015 in Japan, and the creator Akira Toriyama had been working on the show. He developed it himself. He's the series creator. He's been so since the Dragon Ball original manga, and he decided to come out with a new TV show, and it was just picked up in the United States at the beginning of this year by Toonami, which is like an Adult Swim, I guess, chapter.
It used to be like the robot is like the host, like the little robot.
And they still do that on
Yeah.
Cartoon Network. I think it's like after 7 p.m. on the weekends. I'm not sure if they do it Monday through Sunday.
I think it's just on the weekends, but I might
It
be
is
wrong.
just on the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's right too. I remember watching it like Saturday nights as a kid.
Yeah.
They would have that. They would have Samurai Jack, which is also making a
That's
comeback.
making a debut. Yeah, that's coming back too.
I think Cartoon Network's moving in a good direction with the content they're putting on television. For
Yeah,
a
for
couple of years, they were leading the cartoon game, and they still are. But some of their most popular shows from like the mid 2010s are coming to an end.
Yeah.
Like the early 2010s, like Chowder's off the air now. I think Adventure Time is reaching the end of its tenure too.
Yeah. And I think one thing that really set Cartoon Network apart from Nickelodeon and not really Disney Channel, but more Nickelodeon,
Sure.
was the content. And I think that Cartoon Network had more shows that were connecting to, I guess, kids our age and adults, because it was more
Right.
adult humor rather than just
Right.
wacky cartoons.
Yeah, they've always been really conscious of what works best to cater children's needs, and while a lot of the stuff they put on shows good creativity, it gives kids good use of their imagination. I feel like it develops a sense of being an artist, an individual artist in every
Yeah.
kid's minds.
Yeah,
That's how
absolutely.
I see the show, their content.
That's it.
As opposed to like the bubblegum stuff we see on Disney Channel.
Or like Uncle Grandpa.
yeah, like Uncle Grandpa. Like
There's some,
that's-
you know what, like that's.
but
the
they
thing.
do have
There's-
some goofy shows.
There's some good shows, but there are also a handful of just downright ridiculous shows that make no sense.
Right,
Like
you're looking at Uncle
Grandpa.
Grandpa and you're wondering what is this teaching my kids?
It's nothing. It's just
It's
like,
pretty funny.
Yeah, it's
but
just
you know,
stupid.
SpongeBob. I feel like SpongeBob was kind of like that in its early days.
I think SpongeBob's like that now. SpongeBob used to be like pretty funny. Like
Yeah.
I was like watching an episode from like the early 2000s, and it's still pretty funny. So
Yeah, man. SpongeBob's been around for a long time. Dragon Ball's been around for a long time. The series has been around since like the 1990s, I believe, is when they first decided to turn it into a TV show. And
Yeah.
since then, they said forget about it. They built this huge franchise. Toriyama's worked on a bunch of other shows too. But he's been drawing these cartoons since 1984.
So for someone who's been, I guess, hooked on Dragon Ball Z, because I have a negative. I like the show, but I have a negative. What's your positive and negative approach about watching the show, or like negative opinion?
If I had like a pros and cons of
Yeah.
the series,
Yeah.
okay, since it's all a continuation of one another, if I was to pick one con, it would be the length of the stories. For an aspect, I can see why it takes like 2 to 4 episodes for something to happen. I feel like they break it up into chapters since the stories are so long. In the books, it might take a long while on TV to fully develop that idea and share it with people in the best way to tell the story. So maybe 3 to 4 episodes, I guess, is a little too long. If they could find a way to shorten them, but then again, every episode is only about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why it may seem annoying to everyone, but then again, remember, episodes are about 20 minutes with 10 minutes of commercials in between.
Yeah.
So it's going to look a little lengthy.
Yeah.
The pros of it, I guess, it's again, it might sound contradictory, but it's good storytelling. Like, you'll see like values in Goku's life, and you can see like, oh wow, this relates to so and so in what we're seeing today. The show empowers women. With Dragon Ball Super specifically, it picks up right after where Dragon Ball Z ended. Gohan has a family, and he's raising his daughter Pam, who makes an appearance in Dragon Ball GT as Goku's granddaughter. And it's just, again, we see like a lot of feminist stuff starting to come out, and I think Dragon Ball's like jumping right into that, building this woman's character from like a little girl to who we'll see her eventually become like one of the strongest feminine characters on the show.
My opinion is somewhat, because I used to be a very avid Dragon Ball, I guess, watcher, enthusiast, and the one thing I can say is that, especially as a young kid, it would be Goku fighting Vegeta. Vegeta was the pink one, right?
That's
right?
Frieza. Vegeta was like Trunks' dad.
Okay, yeah.
You know who Trunks is?
Yeah. So Frieza, and that episode would take like 5 different segments, and I would just kind of be like, when is something gonna happen? Because it would be like one punch, and that was it. And like, I'm not a pacifist, but I'm watching an action show about fighting, and it's like one punch is thrown, and it's just like talking.
Yeah.
It's like, But I agree with you in the storytelling where, it's almost second to none, especially if it could translate so well from a place like Japan to the United States and have such like an impact,
Right. I mean, it's just good storytelling, and the language barrier isn't much different. Again, thanks to Crunchyroll, I'm able to watch the show as it's going on. It's live. They come out with new episodes every week. Yeah. Thanks to Crunchyroll, I'm able to watch that with English subtitles while listening to the Japanese. It's not something I'm used to because I grew up watching the show on Toonami, so they were by then Dragon Ball Z came out in like the mid 90s. By the time I was a kid, maybe 5 years old, 2001, the show was already like in full extent in English, so it was just easier to watch it on TV whenever it was on.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm enjoying the series, and if you're not a fan, or you've never been a fan, or never heard of it, check it out. It's worth watching. We're going to take a quick break, go back to playing a little music while we prepare our next segment for you guys. It should be a little fun. We're going to talk some Rangers, maybe. And then we'll end our show today. It's a quick episode. We'll end our show with a little reality television, and we'll see what that entails. This is Pyro's Power Play, Pyro's Playbook, Patrick's Playbook, whatever we want to call it. I'm Anthony Pyro. This is WICR. We'll be right back.